We didn't have any natural resources until recently. All our neighboring countries have oil, and we had nothing. We say, how come God gave them all this oil? We have nothing until recently.
Well, you have olive oil.
You have an excellent oil. We have the Dead Sea with the great minerals. But generally speaking, and we lived in a very hostile environment. Now, actually, it's much better. We have peaceful relations with Jordan, with Egypt, and so it forced us to look for, okay, what do you do? And we used to be a very agricultural country in 1950s, 60s. Today, our agriculture is only 2% of our GDP. So that's how we became a high-tech or mid-tech country. And you go to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, you will see all those small startups, and then some of them are generated to be huge companies. So I think this is the Israeli story, and also I think the Philippines have a potential for this. It's just a process. We invest a lot in education, a lot. This is crucial, and also the 4.5% of our GDP, it's R&D. Government is really, really involved in research and development. So this is the secrets of the Israeli success. And this is, again, in an environment which is very complicated.
It's the challenges that drives the Israeli people.
I see. Israeli, I said the mentality, if we see a mountain and you can cross it, we will move the mountain. This is our method. This is the way we are thinking, looking always to the next thing.
In the modern age, it's defined by modern challenges and modern threats. You talk about cyber terrorism and cybersecurity. Speak a bit about areas of cooperation between Israel and the Philippines on terrorism, on security, maybe even on intelligence sharing.
I take the cyber as an example because countries today need to protect their critical infrastructure. Cyber is not the future. Cyber is the present. And that's we go to friendly countries. First, there is the business element of this, but also government to government. We need today, when you use your cell phone, you have to know what does it mean. When today the world has changed, and it's a real threat. It's not, you might win today wars by cyber. They can paralyze hours of your electricity, or your oil, or whatever you do.
Tell us more about what products that the Philippines can get from Israel.
Right.
I did a bit of reading back. A lot of what I saw have to do with technology and even some security. But tell us more about this.
Well, a lot. When I see now today, it's mainly technology. Is technology which is not a product that you put on a container. Okay, it's software to protect the banks. That when you enter online, it's know-how when it comes to cyber and issues like this. When you get your bills from your cell phone company, who is doing the billing, whereas it's a huge technology. So that's when, and also all those technology to protect your airports and all of this, that's where we are, in addition to the agriculture.
You mentioned that Israel spends around 4.5% of its GDP on research and development. I'm afraid I don't have the numbers for the Philippines, but how does that compare with other countries?
Well, it's almost the highest in the world. We signed during President Duterte's visit to Israel an agreement of cooperation on science and technology. We are, I think, number one in the world, as far as I know. Number one in the world.
As far as percentage of GDP?
Yeah, percent, by far, yeah.
So this is where it's all coming from.
And it's not a new thing. It's
an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment, and it's a phenomenon that it was there for 20, 30 years. It's not something of the last year. So it's a long-term strategy. It doesn't matter who is in power. There's full understanding. It creates jobs also at the end of the day.
And creates new technologies as well.
Yeah. Our challenge is then to come the big international companies and try to buy our companies. And you have so many Israeli exits. So what we try to do, that the R&D will stay in Israel, and many of them, like Waze, it was bought in billions of dollars, for example, or Mobileye was bought by $15 billion. Two professors in Jerusalem sitting like you here, having an idea how to protect cars from accident, and then come Google and pay $15 billion for this company, and the company stays in Israel.
Yeah, in the digital economy, one of the growing areas and one of the most important areas now is in financial technology and in fintech. Talk a bit about companies coming out of Israel and R&D in that area as well.
Well, when it comes to fintech, actually I had a meeting with, they organized me a full day of meeting with Israeli companies. All the fintech came to me, especially because you have all your overseas workers. It makes it even more interesting.
Is very important.
And actually they are already here. trying to find the ways and find partners. We need the local partners, and part of the delegation we'll bring here actually in a few months. We'll deal with it, but the companies are working to find solution to send the money and to make it safe, and others. You are a classic country for this. And I also was surprised. We have Israeli call centers here.
Yeah.
You call a call center, an Israeli company, and they answer you in Manila, and they are very happy. They are very, very happy from the services because this hospitality and service, approach of service and excellent English, and it's very, very important. So I'm happy we can help with the employment in the Philippines.
Yeah.